Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I've got my work shirt on. This is one of Dad's old shirts because I have got a project that I'm wanting to do. I want to build or I should say dedicate / build / scratch out a place for a fall flower garden. I always think about flowers blooming in the spring and the summer, and it's just such a heavenly time to be surrounded by this lush garden. And our garden has seemed so lush this year. So many flowers, so many, of course, edible plants, all of our vegetables. The beans are doing great, and it's just such a wonderful time to see all this blooming, and it's beautiful. And I'm always sad when we start down the other side of summer and fall comes around and things start dying and nothing's blooming, and I'm like, man, I really long for that spring and summertime where all of the fauna and flora is just like at its height. So I thought, what can I do about that? I can make myself a fall flower garden, so that's what I'm gonna do. Of course, there are all types of flowers that do good in the fall and that are really hardy and can stand colder temperatures. So what I'm gonna do, instead of using a raised bed, or I might use some gardening pots, but my idea is to go down to the creek and get some creek rocks and use that to make myself kind of a border and kind of give myself a boundary for that space. The space that's going to be my fall garden, my fall flower garden. So that's the first step. Number 2, I'm also going to include some pictures and video of my poppy flowers that I grew this summer, that I planted in early spring and that are blooming. They are beautiful. I planted a few different types. Only 2 grew, so that doesn't mean that next year I might have a few other type of poppies that come around. One is called Danish flag, and they're really beautiful. And then the other kind, to be 100% honest, I can't remember. So one kind I planted on this side of the house, one kind went on this side of the house. And the Danish flag poppy is beautiful, but the bloom is heavy. And so this being the first time that I've ever grown them, I quickly realized that this type of poppy is going to have to be staked or trellised, because the weight of the blooms has caused the plant to kind of break in half, and that's not super great. And those poppies, once this plant these blooms here kind of rolled over like this, they didn't get the sun they needed. They were seeking sun and they weren't getting it. So that's the next step of this fall garden. What I'm gonna do is create a space in it or around it that I could next year have plenty of room to grow the poppies and plenty of room to stake them or trellis them or do something to keep those heavy blooms from breaking the plant, from breaking the stem of the plant. And I know there's other varieties of poppy plants that will also have heavier blooms, and that may be a risk to breaking the plant. Yeah, a risk for the plant to break, and it's sad. So I'm very excited. I'm going to, like I said, share with you later what type of plants that I'm looking at planting in this garden. So this is a kind of a project that's going to start now. We're going to see the first beauty in it in the fall, and then I'm going to have something to plan for it in the spring as well. So number 1, I need to go talk to Mama because I've got a spot in mind, make sure she's okay with that spot. We're going to pick it, show it to you. And number 2, we're going to go down. I'm going to take Dad's truck because his truck's behind my truck, and it'll be easier to take his than move mine. And I'm going to pick me out some rocks, set me up a spot. Let's go. Before I do that, I do just want to say that this seems to be a fitting thing for me to do at a time like this. As many of you know, my grandma passed away last week, and thinking about flowers and butterflies and all of that, it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of like rebirth. It's like something different. It's like represents somehow to me her journey through this sickness, to be with Christ, to be with the Lord. And it just seems like a fitting time for me to do this as kind of like a farewell to Grandma and a way for me to kind of garden and do something I enjoy and work through the grief process, but also honor her by making a beautiful flower garden. And I kind of want to include something of her in there, and even if it's just something, a rock from her yard or something that was hers, it would be nice to incorporate that into my fall flower garden. So let's go find Mom. So I was thinking,
sorry, my hair's
I know, look at my nasty shirt. Remember how I said in my video that I was going to wear the work shirt because, and there's a hole in this because it's disgusting. I was thinking somewhere down here, just because it's where I parked the truck and it'll be easy to get the rocks out, but also somewhere down here because it may be one of the only places we have room. So what I was thinking, one of the places was in here because it's kind of a weed jungle.
So this area is my flowers, and I usually keep them weeded, but of course this summer, the spring with Miss Cindy, it's just, look, I've got a Joe Pye weed right in the middle of them. I had a tree, your daddy cut it down, a walnut tree. That's a gum. The only thing is, if you put them in that, there's so many of those little yellow buttercups.
Yeah.
Someone told me they're, what's the name of them? Primrose. They'd just probably take it over. So I wish we could find another place. I'm just not sure where that would be.
Keep walking out through here.
So what I was thinking is, you might just pick a place up here in the yard somewhere, put you down some cardboard, and then put your rocks around it, and then put dirt on top of it, and just start up from the ground. Get some cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to be fighting all that, because the problem with down there is there's so much phlox and that primrose that it's going to quickly take over. So if you start a brand new bed, there wouldn't be nothing like that in it. And if you put cardboard down, you're going to get rid of a lot of the grass.
Okay.
So now you just got to figure out where.
Are we thinking like right here?
Well, maybe, or maybe over, maybe right here. Maybe this would be pretty right here.
I just don't want to be like, when it comes time to mow or do stuff.
It'd even be pretty. What do you think about like edging down where that hosta's at right there?
Yeah.
That might wash though there.
Look at my pink nasturtiums, y'all. Them says pink nasturtiums instead of the normal ones. Aren't they beautiful? Look at them, Dad. And some cosmos. Hey, Dad. Okay.
So, like, see, I'm saying
even like right here would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Dad?
But,
how big of a flower bed are you doing?
And I don't have to. Mom's looking at me because I'm smiling on the other side of the camera. Doesn't have to be huge. I mean, it's not going to be as big as that raised bed right there. Surely not, unless you allow me to do it.
So you could put one right here.
I think right there's a good place.
Yeah, I think
but it won't be in the way.
I don't think so. I mean, as long as you keep it.
No, Daddy, no.
All over it. As long as you keep it. You can show me tomorrow when you start outlining it. And I'd put the cardboard down, and I'd put the rock on top of it, and then I'd start filling in with dirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a stick and draw it in the dirt?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do that. Hold on. You can kind of see the outline, the square outline that I drew in the dirt with a stick. So we decided that instead of down there next to the beans, it's going to go here. The next step is to break some cardboard down, put it here, and then bring my rocks up here, make my outline, and I'm going to go ahead, probably go into the woods, get some leaves, just something to fill it up, and then I'll have to get some dirt. I don't exactly have a lot of dirt. I'll put a little bit of the dirt that I have on it, and of course I'll order some more, and then we'll see what it looks like after that. Let's go. Let's get the rocks. Let's get the rocks, Dad. There is my rocks. Looking at this now, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of big rocks. And not so many little ones. But what I can do is just start with this. And then if I want to add more, I can adjust that. But that's what I've got. And I'm going to take them up the driveway, y'all. Ooh, looks like I was doing some crazy driving. Sling this stuff around a little bit. All right. You know the name of the game. Put these in the wagon. And then when it gets too heavy, call Daddy for help. I think I can do it. Right, y'all. Let's do it. It has been a success. With Dad's help, I got my rocks up here. Tomorrow, I'm going to start putting them around my square with my cardboard. It's late, and I'm not going to do it tonight, but I will do it tomorrow. Going to show you some of my poppies. Let me put that down. I've got a lot of flowers blooming here, but as far as these poppies that I was talking about right here, so this is that Danish flag poppy, and so you can see there's white, you can already see it's kind of coming apart, but the part that you can really see is on the back here. Oh, well, something I noticed with these guys, this bloom will only stay good and fresh for about 2 days max, and then it'll do like this. You just barely touch it and it falls apart. So that's one of them. So you can see what happened here. This is what I'm talking about. This breakage. You see that, how heavy this is? And so this is not even bloomed, and I'm not sure that it will, because that stem is probably going to break and fall off. But see, what happened with these is it's kind of a really weird discoloration. It's kind of like they're just ugly and gross. And I think it's because 2 things. Number one, they didn't get any sun, because look at the difference there. Is that not crazy? And this is the same type of poppy. And the rain also. Poppies don't need a lot of rain. They need dry. So look at that. Gross. That's just gross. Same thing happened here, which it's all's not lost. We don't need any of that. We'll just keep this here because that's where the seeds are. But you can see how beautiful this one is. This is just really light saturated pink, pretty white in the center. And this one is pointed up, so it got some sun and it didn't get as much rain. You can actually see the bottom of these probably starting to die. And then there's another one here that's really very pretty. And it's just floofy and just puffy. It's just really pretty. Just really like this. But this one also is a lighter plant. It didn't have but 1 bloom on it, and so it is not as heavy. My beautiful cosmos there. So you can see that's what these poppies look like when they're done. They look like top hats. They look like little round heads with top hats. This is one of the last ones that's going to bloom. All of these have already bloomed, and I was here to see some of them, and some of them I was not. There's actually, you can see right there, 2 more blooms, so they will eventually open. But these were really pretty. I'll put a picture in here anyway so that you can see what they looked like. I may have liked these a little better than the Danish flag ones in the other part of the yard. These were just really, really nice, y'all. Good morning. It is the next day. I brought my cardboard out here. I'm going to go ahead and get my cardboard cut up, lay it down, and put my rocks around it. And then I will get my fill from the woods, probably my leafage, stuff like that, and put it in here. And then what dirt I have here, I'll scrape up, put in there after that. And then if I need to get more dirt, I can do that. I kind of drew up a rudimentary little caveman-like drawing of how I want this to look last night. And I kind of did a little bit of planning on what flowers I want to put in here. Probably put some crocuses, some asters, some things like that. But I also want to plan for a place for there to be a few flower pots or possibly grow bags to go in the back here, just so that I could grow some stuff in them that might kind of, you know, things that could possibly take over the bed here. I don't want anything to kind of drown out or overwhelm the flowers that I plant. There's some Japanese anemone that I have over here that's beautiful, but it takes over. And I'm afraid if I put it in the bed, that's all that would be in there. So that would be something that's good to put in a growing pot, flower pot. So I'll show you my like rudimentary drawing, like I said, just shows the bed and maybe like a few pots back here. And as this kind of develops, of course, I'll have an opportunity to change it if I need to, but I'm pretty excited this morning. I'm in here before too much sun and heat gets in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to cutting up my cardboard and building this thing. Let's go. This is what I've got here. That's not half bad. I mean, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is any good, but Mama said it was good. And I know if I'd have had more time to fool with it, it kind of could have been a little bit more of what I wanted, but this is not too bad. So what I'm gonna do now is go into the woods, dig up some leaves to fill in the bottom of this, and probably a little bit of chicken compost we have over here. And then I'll put some better dirt on top, and I'll probably also wait to get some better dirt at a later time and put in here. And then probably let it rain and just kind of get all that in there solidified and married up, make the soil good for a little bit, and then I'll be ready to put stuff in it. One thing I did do is I found this shirt and I put it on. It's another one of Dad's old shirts, so I put it on over my other shirt, and yes, that is hot to wear two shirts, but it kept my pink shirt from getting filthy, so at some point I will take this off. But for now, I think I'm gonna go out here with my wagon, and I'm gonna get some leaves and stuff and throw it in here, haul it back, and get to filling this up. It don't look too bad. The muscles built it. Let's go. Got me some half tea, half water. That's good. Kind of hot, kind of hungry. I never did eat any breakfast, and it's probably like 10 o'clock now, so I think I'm probably just gonna have the steak that I was planning to have for lunch. I think I'm gonna have steak for breakfast. Not really breakfast, more like a brunch thing, but I feel pretty good about what I got done. I like how the bed looks. I think it's pretty close to my original plan of what I wanted to do. I'm going to plan to get a little bit more dirt, and I'm going to make another video. There'll definitely be a part 2 talking more about what's actually going to go in there. What am I going to plant? And I wanted to real quick show you the drawing that I had, which is just pointless at this point. But I'm going to go get it and show it to you. Hold on. Back. I guess I could take this shirt off. To be honest, I've been wearing 2 shirts this whole time, and that's hot. But okay, so here is this is what I had kind of drew. So like this is the edge of the other bed over there, the herb bed. And so this is pretty much, it kind of ended up how I wanted it to be. This was just the bed, and this is where I was thinking about putting some pots in the back. And then I drew these little X's here because I was thinking that I might put something small at the front of this bed. I don't know though, because when it comes time to mow, I don't want to just, I'm sure my dad's like, there'll be more to weed eat around. Great, because there's a lot of weed eating. There's hardly no mowing here anymore. It's mostly weed eating around everything. So I don't exactly know if I'll do something in the front, but I definitely have plans to do something in the back. And I was thinking maybe like 2 on this side, 2 on that side. And I think for the most part, that's really pretty much what that looks like. And that's pretty much it. So you have to stay tuned for Katie's gardening antics part 2. So thank you for coming with me. God bless you. God watch you. I'll catch you at the next one.